Hello everyone, so today we're gonna discuss about the arguments that I made. We're going to express it to its symbolic form and construct a truth table to determine if it's valid or invalid. So now this is the argument that I made. If there is life in moon, then moon has oxygen. But there is no life in moon. Therefore, moon has no oxygen. So our first premise here is if there is life in moon, then moon has oxygen. Then our second premise is, but there is no life in moon. And we have our conclusion, therefore, moon has no oxygen. So now, we're gonna convert this into its symbolic form. So we have, now we have P implies Q because the first premise is an implication sentence. So we're gonna make P implies Q. And then our second premise is a negation of P. So we have negation of P. Next, we're gonna put a bar to separate the premises and their conclusion. So here is and negation of Q. So what do you think of our argument? Is it valid or not valid? So to answer our questions, we're gonna construct a truth table. For the first row, we have here P and Q. For the second row, we have P implies Q, which is our first premise. And for our third row, we have the negation of P, which is our second premise. And the last row is the negation of Q, which is our conclusion. So this is T, this is T, this is T, then F, then F, and then T, last T, F, then F. So for the T implies Q, we have, so there is T, you're gonna put here T, then F, and then T, and T. So for the second premise, we have negation of P. So if P is T here, then for the negation of P, we have F. And then F, and then T, and lastly T again. So now, we're gonna eliminate these two rows because one of their premise is false. So now we have two critical rows. When we say two critical rows, these are rows in which the premises are all true. So we have the conclusion. This is the moment of truth, guys. We will find out if the argument is valid or not valid. So we have, for the negation of Q, we have T, and then I'm gonna put here F, and F is T. So now we have the result. Since there is F in the conclusion, this is an invalid argument. So therefore, this argument is invalid. That's all.
My arguments. If I study your quiz, then I will get a pass and good marks. I didn't study your quiz, therefore I get failing and low marks. So my first premises is if I didn't study your quiz, then I will get a pass and good marks. My second premises is if I didn't study your quiz, and the conclusion is therefore I get failing and low marks. So symbolize arguments and symbolic logic proposition by proposition. S is stand for if I study your quiz, and P is stand for that I will get a pass, and M is stand for and good marks. So in my second proposition, study your quiz is S, and the conclusion is therefore I get failing and low marks. So the first proposition is symbolized as S and P, then M. And the second proposition is symbolized as S, therefore M. Construct a truth table using formula 2 raised to the power of n, which is the 2 is the constant and the n is the variable. The n and the formula 2 raised to the power of n is represents and the number of variables are constant used in the arguments. So since my arguments has three constants, the S, P, and M, therefore, the formula now is 2 raised to the power of 3 is equals to 8. This means that we need to construct a truth table that contains 8 rows. And now that we have constructed the truth table, let us provide the truth values in the variable S, P, and M. So since our formula is 2 raised to the power of 8, so we will divide it by 2 is equals to 4. The 4 represent 4 true and 4 false for our first variables S. For our second variables, we divided by 4 by 2. So 4 true and 2 true and 2 false. And variables M, we divided 2 by 2. So it means 1 true and 1 false. In this symbol, we go first to the P, then M. So P and M. True, false, 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 and false. For our first premises, copy the variable S. In the conclusion, we copied the variable of M. Argument is valid if and only if it is necessary that if all of the premises are true, then the conclusion is true. Invalid argument is that is not valid. So my arguments, if I study your quiz, then I will get a pass and a good marks. I didn't study your quiz, therefore I get failing and a low marks. So my arguments is a valid arguments.
This is my argument. If I ride my scooter, then I will get there faster. I did not ride my scooter, therefore I did not get there faster. This is my first premises. Second, and my conclusion. My conclusion is negation or not. And this is the truth table. The conclusion. So the conclusion is negation. So we must find the F or false. Then, and we must find the rows of premise is true. So the one is not valid, sir.
My argument is, if you use your eyes, then you will see me. If you will see me, therefore you use your eyes. You use your eyes is RC, and you will see me is RD. This is our symbolic form. Based on the truth table, our argument is valid.
Hi, I'm Edgardo Cepeda. So this is my arguments. So if Hannah doesn't full, then she will be hungry. She doesn't hungry, therefore Hannah is full. So my first premise is if Hannah doesn't full, then she will be hungry. So we can show here that if Hannah doesn't full, then she will be hungry. And the second premise is she doesn't hungry. And the conclusion, therefore Hannah is full here. So the conclusion. So Let not F represent the statement Hannah doesn't fool, and H represent the statement she will be hungry. So if Hannah doesn't fool, then she will be hungry. That is my premise. She doesn't hungry, so therefore Hannah is full. So we can show here that the F is true, true, false, false, and the H, which represent the she will be hungry, is true, false, true, false. Because the premise is not F, then H, so the answer is true, false, true, and true. And the second premise is not H, because H is T here. The not H is F, and the H of here is false. The answer of not H is true, and because T here, the answer of not H is false, and F answer is true. So the conclusion is F. So because F here, we copy the answer here, the true, false, false. So true, false, false. So because the row 4 is uh, the answer of premise 1 and 2 is true and true, and the solution, the answer is false, or the conclusion is false. So because the row 4 is false and the premise are true, the arguments is invalid. So that's all. Thank you.
So, hi everyone. So, I am Jessame Emboscado Houm. So, my argument is if I do the dishes, then my wife will be happy with me. I do the dishes, therefore, my wife is happy with me. So, our hypothesis here is I do the dishes, while the conclusion is my wife will be happy with me. Same thing here. Yeah, same thing here. So the argument form will goes like this. If P, then Q. Q, therefore Q. So to prove that our hypothesis is true, let's make the truth table. So our variables are P, T, F, F, and while in Q is T, F, T, F. So the premises is P implies to Q, T, true and true is true. So true and false is false. So false and true, still true. False and false, still true. So the premises are true, true, false, false. Yeah, we only copy the premises here. So here in the conclusion, since here is true and true, so conclusion will be true. So here it doesn't matter at all.
My argument is if I will pass my assignment today, then I will get a good score. I got a good score, therefore I passed my assignment on time. My first premise is if I will pass my assignment today, then I will get a good score. The second is I get a good score, and my conclusion is I pass my assignment on time. My first premise will be my P, and my conclusion will be my Q. And this is my symbolic form, and my conclusion is Q. It is stated there, and based on the truth table, the argument is valid.
If I buy my brother a phone, then he will be happy. But I don't want to buy him a phone. Therefore, he will not be happy. If I buy my brother a phone, then he will be happy is my symbol A. But I don't want him to buy him a phone is my symbol B. Therefore, he will not be happy. This is the conclusion. So, this is my symbol. Based on the table, the argument is invalid.